and he should not log in the application, so the application or the username should not accept that value. And with digits, so I did not write the whole sentence here, but it's understood that we are checking the username field with digits. Now in the requirements we did not mention digits are valid values, so it should not accept. And the input values here could be anything, and the test step should be enter digits in the username. And username, and special characters it should not accept. We give that one. Special characters in a sense here, it should not accept spaces or hyphens or question marks or dollar signs, etc. So here you could give some special characters, input values, and this is important. Now actually this technique is boundary value analysis. Actually what we are doing is we know that the valid values a username should accept are the alphanumerics with minimum characters 4 and maximum characters 15. That was the requirement. So here we are checking with three characters, and we are checking with 4 characters, and we are also checking with 15 characters, and we are also checking with 16 characters. So this technique is called boundary value analysis. It's a part of black box testing technique, and this is how boundary value analysis test cases are written. So basically, for example, say the characters field, the valid or the minimum characters a field should accept are, let's say, 8, and maximum it should accept are, let's say, 20. So here we should check that field with 7, 8, 9 number of characters, that is 7 characters, 8 characters, 9 characters, and we should also check that field with 19 characters, 20 characters, and 21 characters. So that is a boundary value analysis technique. So here we checked with 3, we checked with 4, and we should also check with 5. You can go ahead and check the username field with 5 characters also, and we also checked with 15, and we also checked with 16, and we should also check that with 14 characters. Let's just write that. "14 characters should accept and 5 characters it should accept." So now we have written roughly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 test cases here. You can go ahead and prepare many more, but I believe these are enough to check a text box. And similarly you can write test cases for password. That is, the first one was username text box, and we have dealt with that. And the next one you can write similar test cases for password, and the And the next one is I'll explain you about test cases for submit button. And the test case for that was the test scenario ID for that was 1.3. So let's just copy paste the scenario here. So now the test case will be 1.3.1, and the first test case would be like check the functionality of submit button with valid values in username and password. Test step. So first test step would be enter valid values in username. Second test step would be enter valid values in password. Third one, click submit. Input values, first one, let's say admin, and the password is also admin. Expected result should display the welcome page. So here the first test case for submit button is we are checking that submit button with valid values in username and password. So the test step is enter valid values in username, and the next test step is enter valid values in password, and the third test step is click submit button. That is, after entering username and password, we'll click on submit button, and the values here are input values here are admin. For username, I'll just mention username here, username admin, and password admin. So we are actually entering admin in the username and password in the username fields, and we are clicking on submit button. So what should be the expected result? The expected result should be the user should log in, or the welcome page should be displayed to him. That is the expected result. Now let's write one more test case for this. Control C, Control V. Check the functionality of submit button with invalid values in username and password. That is, invalid values in both username and password. So the test step would be Control V, give enter invalid values in username, and then the next step invalid values in password. Click submit button. So the invalid values here would be, let's say, Saturn. Well, Saturn would be very angry with me now. Username is Saturn and password is Saturn. We did not give authorization or authentication for Saturn to log in our application, so should not display or should display an a message prompting the user to enter valid credentials. Here, if user logs in using invalid values, or if he tries to log in using invalid values, the application or the software should display a message asking the user to enter valid credentials. That is the expected result. Let's add insert few rows here. And the next test case would be check the functionality of submit button with valid values in username and invalid values in password. That is, first we checked for valid values in both username and password, and next we checked with invalid values in both username and password. Now we are checking with valid values in username and invalid values in password. Here it's valid values in username and invalid in password. Username should be valid, so admin should not display, so it's the same thing. User application should prompt the user to enter valid credentials. So this is one test case. Let's add one more test case. Check the functionality of submit button with